So all my dogs are eating. Just look at this. Well, these aren't all of them, but okay, let me start that over. Some of my dogs are eating, and they really love this concoction that I give them. They get a mix between dry dog food, and then I make a sauce, a lot of sauce, and it's basically made from the meat that the tigers also eat, and they absolutely love it. If I put this down for them, it lasts less than a minute. Okay, then the dry dog food is left like over there, and then they start eating that. But they really love it. And Diego is right here watching them eat. Diego? What's he, Buddha? He's a funny little tiger. Just depends on how you approach him. So yeah, these lot are eating real quickly now. And then you'll start seeing them leaving their plates, going to others. And that was Zach not being very polite. So, eating. So nice to see them all eat like this. Last week when they were ill, it was really difficult. You would give them their food and they would just look at you and they were not bothered to eat. So, Diego has not eaten yet. I'm going to be getting his food and then Enzo's food. Dogs are going to be quiet at least now. But, yeah, you need to know that what you get is given to you and you need to appreciate it, like those dogs there. I give them all that food, and yes, they appreciate it very much, but it's very easy for them to leave their plate and go and see if there's something better somewhere else. And the more you think about it, the more times they do that, the more they lose out on eating. Because that is what is happening all the time there. All those little mouths are just filling those stomachs straight up. So when one dog leaves his area to go to a better position, he loses that time and the others get more. So it's sometimes better to just stick where you are and avoid the loss of change. The loss of change is something that cannot be recovered. It can get you to a better position, but you still got that loss and you lost what you had. Or if you stay where you are and you make it better around you, then that is the perfect way to win. Is it all about winning? Nope, not at all. People are finding winning like a drug. If they don't win, they are angry. If they don't win, they are upset. I've seen a lot of children being raised in the last 20, 30 years, paying close attention to what they were taught and how they turned out. And yes, I'm not only a studier of tigers, I'm actually also a studier of humankind. So there's a lot of little things that I can tell people about people and what you should and should not teach them. I know in today's society it is more about teach them everything, let them choose for themselves. I've seen how that turned out. and it's not that great. I think there needs to be some sort of guideline, and that guideline needs to apply when those children are not able to make that decision yet. So I remember when I was in school, I despised it. It was not nice. People can ask me, why didn't you like school? School was great. Well, we were being beaten 5 times a day. For every little thing that went wrong, we were beaten. And yeah, I'm not really one of the kind that enjoys being beaten. And I don't, and I think I left school because of that. Because it was either I'm going to start doing the beating sooner or later, and that would have been totally wrong. So, yeah. School was terrible, although they did teach us very valuable things. And I think those valuable things are not being taught to people anymore. I mean, the first thing they taught us when we got to school was how to cross the road, because that was important. Sometimes you might think that teaching someone algebra is more important, but they need to first cross the road to get to the school. And if you don't tell them, well, in South Africa it works a little different, our traffic comes from the other side, we had to look left, right, and then left again, and then only you cross the road. I guess if you're in another country, you might have to look right, left, and right again, and then cross the road. And that is small little things that is absolutely important to teach children. There needs to be a basic education about that. Now those things are left over to mom and dad. But mom and dad are so busy working, they don't get a chance to go through these things. And if you look at a child crossing the road, I would suggest take your own child in a controlled environment and see if he can cross the road and how he will do it. And then you can see how much your child knows already. That's a test. It's like an exam, because if that happens in real life, he could fail that test, and you don't want that to happen. So I'm trying to bring the basics out, giving people the ability to know the small things that everybody has forgotten. And it's so seldom that that happens. For myself even, there's so many things that I have known and I forgot about it. And you have to be retaught. And if you're not going to go do that studying and finding out for yourself, you're not going to come right. So I want to urge people today, teach your children the basics and things would be great. They could build from that. But there's so many things that is so complicated. You cannot build on the complicated things. You have to start with the basics. Now, in today's life, I know it might not always be necessary to know exactly how a car's engine works, for instance, or how a part is manufactured, because you've got the choice to just purchase it straight from the shelf. But the children needs to be taught, where does it come from? I'm trying to think of something that I don't know where it came from. I'll get something now that I'm not familiar with how it is made. There was something the other day, I said, I don't know how this is made. I don't know how you do it. And I try and study every day how things are done. And eventually it forms a circle, comes back to you, and things start linking up. and you are able to understand the physical part of manufacturing and the loss that is in that manufacturing. What do you lose for running inside here and taking that pink bike out of Diego's mouth? I just, as he heard his name, he just looked up. So, if you're going to go in there and just take it, that could be a job, but the loss might be very big. So, it's actually something like loss learning. That should be a subject that people can actually teach their children in order to make their lives better. I see a lot of kids losing their lives through stupid little things that could have been told to them, shown to them, and they would have been able to get through a certain situation. It was not taught to them. Instead, they were taught a lot of complicated things that they now would never use. So, yeah, I think in today's lesson, that's what it's now. Try and get your children to get the basics right first. You don't need to specialize in anything, but if you know and if you are street smart, you will have time to study all those complicated little things. I've taught Enzo a lot of stuff, and I know that he knows those things. If you can teach a tiger to walk on a ladder, but if you don't know that a ladder exists, it will not be possible. So look at him with that foot. He never wants to get that foot wet. Now he's got no choice, and it's wet. But he keeps that foot out of the water always. Look at Diego's face. He's expecting the worst. Enzo is so full of confidence there where he's walking. He's just waiting for Diego to make one little move, and Diego will be sorry. And Diego is already saying sorry. I still want to know. That's what it was, the lightning. There I heard it. What will happen if the lightning hit that water right now? Is there someone who can tell me? Someone who has not went onto the internet and searched it. Someone who's experienced it. Have you been in a pool and the water gets hit by lightning? Well, I'm thinking that the energy will just run on top of the water and some down through it back into the earth. But what if that pool is totally sealed off? Now, yeah, if you've had a real life experience in that, if you've seen anything like that happening before, please tell me. I would love to know that. I did once see a swimming pool that was hit by lightning that had fish in it. And some of those fish were askew. And they didn't die, but they were running in forms like lightning strikes. They had spines that were twisted. They were happy, they were eating, they were fine. And the guy told me, you know what, that happened right after the lightning struck that pool. So, yeah, I would like to know. Anybody can tell me. Well, guys, thanks for hanging around. It's nice to have a chat, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.